What is up, Facebook Live? Good to see you all. Hopefully you're having an amazing day. As you tune in, I'd love to know let's go with three. Keep it clean. 3 things you are grateful for today and where you're tuning in from. We have people tune in literally from all over the world. Last time we had Dubai, we had Tokyo, we had, I think, Dublin maybe it was, the UK, Australia popped on. I saw Sydney, all over the US and Canada. So thank you for those who are tuning in and joining us live. Today we're going to be talking about letting go of the good in order to get to the great. And this is a very, very difficult topic. My wife will be reading those comments, so as you leave comments and as you say hello, she will pop in and let me know what's going on. I'm driving right now to keep 2 eyes on the road at all times. I'd love to know where you're tuning in from and 3 things you are grateful for. We are actually driving right now and heading to speak at an event tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. at the King Center in Melbourne, Florida. So if you're in Melbourne, Florida, if you're in Orlando, Florida, we're actually going through Orlando right now, or in a little bit here. If you're in Orlando, if you're in Melbourne, if you're in Tampa, hop on the road, come and join us. Caleb, I saw your name pop up there. Nice to see you, sir. Hopefully we'll see you in the morning. Let's see who's saying hello.
Ontario, Canada.
All right. Love
Caleb
Canada.
says hello. Cameron says nice car. Lynette says yeah, from Texas.
All right.
Rob Tyson, where you been, Jay? I said hi from the passenger seat. Kayla Walker, St. Pete. She's grateful for friends, new relationships, and future travel plans. Gary, Portland, Maine. Jean, grateful for your dad, Sage, and you. Caleb, I'm going to try to be there.
All right. Excited to see you in the morning. So as you're tuning in, what we're going to be talking about today is letting go of the good to get to the great. Now, this is really a tricky situation. And there's a couple different thoughts and mindsets around this that I'm going to dip into. But the first one to start, if you comb through the areas of your life and if you comb through different situations and what's going on, I'd love to know right now at this very, very moment of your life, what is at least one area of your life that if you're honest with yourself, it's going really, really good, but it's certainly not great. It's not outstanding. It's not the way you dream it to be. It's just really good. And if you can think of that area of your life where, it's good. Like, it's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing bad about it, but it's good. And in that moment, if it's just good, it can be exciting at times. It can be something that's like, oh yeah, it's really nice, but it doesn't light your soul on fire. It doesn't bring you to life. It doesn't really, truly let you give every ounce of who you are as a human being to it. It's something that if it's 0 to 10, it's maybe like a 4.5, 5, maybe even a 6. It's pretty. And if you think about this area of your life, you got to ask yourself, why is it only good? And let's take business as an example. Think through some of the projects you're working on, some of the initiatives you have, some of the deals you're currently involved with. And if you have a deal, what I'd love you to identify a deal in your mind that's really good, and identify a deal that you're working on that's like literally outstanding, amazing, incredible. So a deal that lights your heart on fire, that makes it feel like the most amazing thing you've ever been a part of. It literally blows your mind every day to believe you get to work on this project and get paid for it. Like, you can't believe you get paid to do this. It's that amazing. So if you're thinking about this, what I want you to do is start to compare and contrast and tell me what the difference is in the comments right below. My wife will read them, and we'll answer some questions here. But tell me the difference between a project. What qualities does a project have in your book for you personally that when you're working on that kind of project, you consider it to be a good project. It's really good. It's decent. You're good, glad to have it, glad to work on it. It's good, nice work. Makes good money. It's something that, it's really good. And that's just what it feels like. That's the energy it produces in your body. And list out real quick what qualities exist that cause it to be just a good or okay project to work on. Doesn't really get you excited, doesn't really light your soul on fire, doesn't really make you feel like the best, brightest, strongest, most amazing version of yourself. It's just something really good. Now, what I want to contrast is as soon as you have that, I then want you to write down a second list. And the second list is something that's absolutely outstanding, amazing, incredible. The type of project you work on that literally, like, you have to pinch yourself in the morning because you can't believe it's real that you get to work on this kind of project. It literally lights your heart on fire in all the right ways. It brings you to life. It makes you feel so grateful every morning that you have the privilege to do something like this. And what I'd love you to start to notice is, what is the difference between a project that's really good to be working on and a project that's absolutely outstanding to be working on? And what I'd love you to do is, let me see if I can switch lanes. It might be this lane that's bumpy. And what I'd love you to do is contrast, sorry about all this shaking, whereas apparently it's a bumpy road here. I'd love you to contrast the two. I'd love you to see what is the difference between something that's really just good, something that, it's good enough, it's worth working on, it's good for you, and something that's absolutely outstanding. And I'd love you personally to start to make some clarifications and identify the difference in qualities of the two options there. Because in my personal opinion and experience in working with people, if you allow yourself to constantly just settle for the good things, it takes up so much room and so much space in your life, you don't have space to go out and find or connect with or get involved with the things that are outstanding, that light your heart and soul on fire, and vice versa. If you will not settle for allowing just good things to exist in your life, if you're willing to raise the standard or no longer tolerate, and a good friend of mine, a business mentor, Keith Cunningham, said, we mentioned this before, in life, you get what you tolerate. If you tolerate it and you allow it to exist, it will continue to repeat itself again and again and again. And so in life, you literally have to be able to draw the line and just literally draw that line and say, I will not tolerate stuff that's just good in my life any longer. I won't. And if it's not striving for outstanding, if it's not pushing it in this area of my business, I'm not going to do it. And what happens is, in the beginning, the very, very first time you have the guts or the goal to cross off the good stuff and only go for the outstanding, it is probably one of the scariest moments and things you'll ever do, because you're letting go of business that's right there. You're letting go of opportunities right in front of you. At the same time, if and when it's the right time to do this, and you're willing to do this, and you have the guts to follow through, oh my gosh, you'll get to the other side. You'll find those projects that are really, truly your bread and butter, the greatest thing you can imagine working on. And when you get to those, it'll light your heart and soul on fire in all the right ways. And you'll look back and won't even realize how in the world you settled all those years for anything but what it is you're experiencing now. Now, the tricky part is, and this is what I said, there's multiple facets and sides here. If you're just getting started, you're brand new, to come in with an ego or attitude and say, well, I'm only going to deal with these things. If you have the ability to demand that and make it work, awesome, high five. If you don't, in the beginning, many times, you have to be willing to hustle and do all the things other people won't do to get the results in the beginning and build up your reputation and get some momentum on your side. Once you have that, at that point, you can start raising the bar and raising the standard. If you're new. Now, if you've been doing something for 30 years and you're still settling for good, you need to update your standard here, and you need to choose purposely to not allow yourself to get stuck in a place where it's just good from this point forward. And if you've been doing it for that long, you probably do have a community. They do know who you are. You do have a foundational set of clients and a base you can build on. Now at that point, raise the standard and start moving forward. There's a bunch of comments here. Let's see. We'll dive through some of these real quick. This is my beautiful wife, Amanda.
Thanks, Jean. Chris says, grateful for this moment. Thomas says, Summit, Cleveland, grateful for actionable insights, the beautiful weather, and getting the opportunity to be involved in a new large project.
Very cool.
Caleb says, glad to see you guys are on the same mission, helping people, power couple, whoop whoop. Cameron says, for me, that's supplementing music for my business. I love my business, but would rather be making music. One gives me immediate feedback from the masses, and the other gives me limited feedback, but pays me really well.
Fair.
Malcolm says, outstanding is working with clients. Coaching is so exciting. Good is event management. 20 years of experience.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry. I really like this talk. It's right on time. Jean says, thank you both for doing this. Love it. Michael says, hey Jairek, thanks for this. Just starting my real estate business, and I really need this today. By the way, I watched The Abundance Factor today and really enjoyed what you had to say. Really enjoyed the movie.
Oh, thanks.
Jean, Amanda, awesome. Michael, shout out from Baltimore.
What's up, Baltimore? So this concept, we'll jump in. Got all the comments here. Thank you for that. and so we'll jump back in and keep this conversation going. And the conversation is, what has to happen to you for you to get to a point in life where you're willing to let go of the good and only accept and only tolerate the great? And I'll tell you where it starts. It starts with you. It starts with the standard in which you choose to show up every day, and the standard in which you allow yourself to participate in the game of life. So if you really want to start somewhere, a lot of people like to look outside of themselves and say, hey, I only want to deal with the best clients, my ideal client. I only want to do the big transactions in real estate or financial deals or investments or whatever else it is. They only want to go big and the best and those things, and that's where they want to start. But the truth is, and this is the big area of truth that you have to dig in on, if you were to rate yourself on how you choose to show up every day, how you show up in your health, how you show up in your family, how you show up for the ones you love, how you show up in your spiritual life, how you show up in all the personal areas of life, if you were to give yourself a rating 0 to 10, 10 being absolutely freaking outstanding, and 0 being, I don't even want to describe 0, but you know, the universe or God needs to kick you in the pants for slacking off. 0 to 10, if you were to give yourself a rating, how do you show up every day in every relationship, every situation, and every opportunity you have in life? Do you hold yourself? Do you only tolerate the best version of who you are? My wife and I have conversations all the time, and many times at the end of a long day, after travel, lots of stuff going on, we'll get home tired, exhausted, a little worn down, hungry. That, you know, hangry comes out. That means you're angry and hungry at the same time. That stuff starts to happen. And as those things start to unfold, I'm very likely to say, hey, just so you know, in starting this conversation, can't wait to connect with you and love on you. I'm about half full right now. Meaning I am not the fullest, best, strongest version of myself. Just a heads up, I might not show up like the best of who I can be. And sorry about this sunlight over here. And that way I'm saying, listen, I know my threshold has been broken and I'm torn down right now. I either, you know, and if you want, let's take 5-10 minutes each by ourselves and go fill up as fast as possible and come back to this conversation and come back to each other full of energy and full of life. Or if we're going to continue, let's just be fair to each other and realize we might not be the best version of ourselves right now. And so, you know, she said to me something really sweet the other night. She said, you know, I really thank you for holding yourself to that standard. And it clicked in my head what we're talking about right now. I said, wow, I didn't think about it that way. But the standard that exists there is I never want to allow a lesser version of myself to show up for my wife, if that makes sense. Meaning, if I catch myself being torn down, really, you know, falling apart or not my best self or exhausted or tired or hungry, I call myself out on that verbally and let her know I'm not my best self. I need to do something about this before we continue, because I don't want to give you anything less than the best version of who I am. And I know myself, and the standard I tolerate is not here right now. I'm below my own personal standard. So I need to go get better for you. And that thought of how you choose to show up in the relationships, if you're able to somehow, and that's my own personal experience. I don't know what your version is. Everyone who's tuning in, I see the numbers going up. Thank you. If you find this valuable, please click the share button and put a little message and tell people to join us live if you're on your desktop or your computer. And for all the comments, thank you so much. We'll jump in a second and start answering some of these questions that are coming through. But I hope this makes sense. So the very first place to really dig in and comb around in your life and figure out how, what your threshold is yourself. Give yourself a rating in every area of your life and be really gut level honest to figure out, how do you currently show up? Do you demand and only tolerate the best of who you are in every area? Do you demand yourself to stay in the strongest and most, emotionally fulfilled and powerful state possible to approach life? Or do you settle for yourself showing up, okay, kind of tired, a little frustrated, kind of upset? Do you allow yourself to get to a place where you start just reacting to people around you and snapping at people and go, you know what, I just had a bad day, who cares? Or do you demand yourself to say, listen, I don't care if it's a bad day, I'm going to put myself in a stronger place and I'm going to show up only from that place. I'd love to know what your threshold is or what your current standard is and how you really apply it. Let's see, lots of stuff going on here.
There was someone, I lost the comment, but someone said they just finished your book from Indo Chamber and they loved it.
Oh, awesome. Glad to hear you loved our book. It was wonderful speaking at the Indo Chamber a few weeks ago. Glad to see y'all. Hopefully you're hanging out. Glad to hear you loved our book. I'd love to know what part of it you loved the most. If you're not familiar with our book and you're tuning in, it's Live It, Achieve Success by Living with Purpose. You can grab a copy on Amazon.
Yes. And Gigi says, what if what gives you juice pays no money? What do you still walk down that path?
Great question. So I had a lady one time show up at an event in where were we? New York. And she raised her hand and she asked the exact question. She goes, what if what I love to do doesn't pay any money? And I asked the question, I said, well, does it have to? And she said, well, how would I pay my bills if that's what I want to do, but it doesn't pay any money? And I said, what if you didn't do it for money? What if what you love to do is just what you love to do? You don't want to charge for it. It's not something you ever feel necessary to charge for. You just want to give it away for free all day long, and that's what makes you feel most alive. And I said, couldn't you just get a side gig or side opportunity, literally, that's just about making money? That way you go there, make a ton of money, and then you come back here and just give it all away in the gift that you love to give? And she looked at me, and she was like, but I don't know how to do that. And I said, sometimes you don't know how, but if you ask the right question, your brain will find a way. And what's really fascinating and awesome is I think about a month later, she came back to a big event we were doing in New York. What are you up to? She came back to a big event we were doing in New York, and I'll never forget, she stood up and she said, Jairek, I just wanted to say thank you. And I said, you're welcome. And she goes, if you don't remember me, I came to an event about a month ago, and I asked the question, what if what I love to do doesn't make any money? And you asked me a question. You said, why does it have to? Why don't you make a ton of money doing something else that's just efficient, and then do this and just give it away? And she said, I never thought about it that way, but I decided to just give my services away for free and go make a ton of money doing something else. And she says, here's what happened. You'll never guess. I said a prayer, and I put the intention out there, and I sat down and I wrote down my goal of what I wanted to do. She said, I wanted to make $45,000 in 30 days. That way I had plenty of money to use to live my dreams while focusing on giving away my gifts. I said, what happened? She said, I crossed paths with this person a couple of days later who happened to be really, really talented in the stock market, and he was legit. He wasn't one of these people pitching, some random thing. He actually legitimately knew what he was doing. And he shared with her exactly how to do it and when to do it and what to do. She followed what he said, and literally in the next 30 days, she made $45,000 via the stock market, which I don't endorse because I don't know how it works. But it was amazing. She made $45,000 in the stock market in 30 days, And then she paid and came back to the next little seminar to tell us how she did and to say thank you, because all it took was her brain asking a slightly different question to say, listen, what if I don't have to make money doing this thing that I love, and I can just do what I love to do what I love and make money somewhere else quickly, and then it allows me to offset the ability to do what I love for free. And that's what she did. So if it doesn't make money, that's one option. Here's the other option. Sometimes you believing it doesn't make money is all up here. So that's one way. Choose something else to make money. Use that to make money, and this to just be your passion and what you do all the time because you love it. The second option, if it's something that you want it to make money, I have a belief in my head. There is always a way to monetize whatever it is you're doing. There is always a way. And that belief allows me to come up with creative solutions and creative ways to figure out how to monetize stuff. And at this point in history, holy moly, there's so many ways to monetize things. It's ridiculous. I saw a guy in the news. He makes 6 figures a year, $100,000 a year, and you'll never believe this, waiting in line for people in New York City. That's all he does. That's his full-time job. His full-time job is to go, I think it's TaskRabbit or Craigslist or something. He goes online and he puts an ad, I will wait in line for you. And he finds, whether it's an iPhone release or movie tickets or play tickets or concert tickets or waiting in line at the DMV or whatever it is, wherever you don't want to wait in line, you can pay this guy. So wherever you don't want to wait in line, literally you can pay this guy by the hour to go wait in line for you. And he makes money sitting and waiting in line all day. And he makes $100,000 a year waiting in line. So when people say, oh my gosh, I don't know how to monetize this, it's one thing to say, I don't know how to monetize this yet. I haven't figured it out. But another thing to say, what I do doesn't make money. If a dude can make $100,000 a year waiting in line for people, I guarantee whatever it is you do, you can make money doing it. You just have to get creative enough and figure out how to adjust it to meet the need that society wants. Hopefully that's helpful.
All right. Jerome says, just got back from Toastmasters. Great to see you again, Jay and Mrs. R. Peace, sign emoticon, heart emoticon, smile emoticon.
Great interpretation of the emoticons there. Strong.
Gene guy says, you both coming to Canada soon?
Hey, I don't think we have anything on Canada right now. We made a promise to ourselves a couple years ago to stay out of Canada during the winter time because it is cold. we like warm places.
Unless we're snowboarding.
Unless we're snowboarding, then we dig it. I think you said Ontario. I don't know if there's any mountains to snowboard in Ontario. But if we end up popping up in Canada for any events, we'll definitely post it up here and let y'all know.
Malcolm said, is that sunlight or halo?
Oh, it's my halo.
Jerome, totally. It's all about being transparent. I agree. And I totally endorse and promote the feedback of where you're at, what you said. He'll tell me how...
this message has been approved.
Yes, I approve this message. It's true. I really appreciated that. And then it allowed me to reflect and be like, wow, where am I? Am I in a great mood, or am I like really tired or hungry?
Just a heads up on that thought. It wasn't me asking her, where are you right now? Are you your best self? Because that comes across as accusing them. Uh-oh. Is this our exit?
No, I don't think so.
I hope not.
I'll map it.
Can you map it on your phone? We might be getting lost.
No, we're only at Disney.
I know, but there was a random turn thing that came up somewhere.
Oh.
What's up, Disney World? So, just a heads up. It comes across as you're accusing them if you ask them, what state are you in? Are you in... Oh, no, 2 miles.
No, sometimes you'll say, are you hungry right now?
So, one tip is to always question yourself first. And even if I say, are you hungry right now? It might be because either A, I'm hungry, and I'm like, shoot, if I'm hungry, she must be starving Marvin and not saying anything. He's usually spot on.
on.
Or two, it's me taking a minute, breathing. Can you sit back for just a sec so I can see? Perfect. It's me taking a minute, breathing, and then clearing my mind and just trying to feel her energy. And feel, is she feeling good right now? Is she feeling tense right now? Is she feeling excited right now? Is she nervous? What am I feeling in my body? And when I can try to tap into what I'm feeling and what she's feeling, that gives me the ability to connect to her and try to gauge what things need to happen to help her be at her best self. So just a little tip on that. Never accuse the other person. Always start with yourself, or try to feel where they're at.
It's super effective. Melody says, you guys rock. You rock, Melody. Phil says, hi, both from Phil Hanlon.
Where does that say up top? 0.8 miles?
Yeah, and half mile.
Half mile.
From Cardiff, Wales. Loving your stuff as always. Malcolm, when my wife and I are hangry, we say, feed me now.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah, very smart. Jerome, this is so relevant.
800 feet here? Or the next
take
one?
exit 62.
This one.
And then keep left for 417. Okay. Jerome said,
17.
yep, just stay left.
Stay left? Okay.
This is so relevant. I was thinking yesterday, why is it some days I'm full of energy and super pumped, and other days I feel like a brain dead zombie. How do you keep the good side of yourself? Hold on. How do you keep the good side of yourself showing up more often than not? Oh, he's a master at that.
So great question. And is it Jerome?
Jerome Foreman.
Jerome, great question. So how do you keep yourself at the level where it's the greatest part of who you are?
Keep right.
Keep right? Oh, hold on one sec.
It was keep left, now it's keep right.
Let's get on the right freeway here. 417?
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. So how do you...
If you get lost on here, it's not so bad because you get lost when you're at Disney World.
That's true. And we're just trying to make it to dinner. Brian, if you're watching, we're on our way.
Or at Disney World.
Or at Disney World. We'll find out soon. So here's the key. How do you keep the best version of who you are present? It really, truly, in the beginning, it comes down to training yourself. So people aren't... Well, I don't want to say that. I haven't met anyone that was born who's just happy all the time. Who...
I'm just kidding.
Okay, maybe one little unicorn. Maybe. But everyone has their moments. We have moments where we're feeling really good. We have moments where we're feeling down. We have moments where we're hungry. We have moments where we're sad. We have moments
where our legs are sore.
Where our legs are sore. Where our bodies are sore. All these different things are moments of our lives, and they're all natural and normal. It's totally normal to feel up and feel down at the same time in different days. And so with all those things happening, how you get yourself to constantly be the best version of yourself, number one, you have to define what that really is. So you have to say mentally, what is the best version of who I am? Emotionally, how do I describe, how do I know what qualities need to be present inside of me for me to be the best of who I am? Meaning, how do I have to fuel my mind, body, and emotions? What do I have to be focused on? What do I have to be thinking about? What do I have to be working on? Who do I have to be around? Where do I have to physically be? Physically, what city or place? And all those dynamics, you then have to figure out if those are present, that means you are the best version of yourself. And that's what you're looking for. If you can identify the best version of yourself, now how you keep yourself at the best possible version of who you are is really simple. You make sure all those things are present consistently, which allows you to stay at the best of who you are as a person. So we work with this in all of our one-on-one clients. Do we go right here?
Oh, you're good.
No, Celebration. That's Disney. So that's what we do with all one-on-one clients. We help them discover what is your personal formula that helps you be at your absolute best. How much sleep do you need? What kind of food do you need? How much fuel do you need? How much meditation do you need?
Performance Coach University.
It's something we also teach our coaches how to do in Performance Coach University, where we teach them how to help people go through the process of defining what elements need to be present in order for someone to be the best of the best of the best version of who they are. And how do you create the right rituals, the right habits, the right routines, the right patterns in their life around it that constantly push them right back into the best version of who they are? Ideally, you help them create these habits and routines so that they become unconsciously competent, meaning they do not have to consciously think about it. It becomes the natural routine their body goes through every day, which allows them to stay at the best version of who they are. The best situation that can happen is they get so used to doing this routine that what ends up happening is, even if they have a horrible day, the routine their body is used to going through unconsciously without thinking about it, just wake up and it goes through this routine. Even if they have a bad day, the routine they've set up and they've conditioned again and again and again, literally the next morning pushes them right back into the best version of who they are without even thinking about it. And so those are the things that we look for inside of people. And if you talk about peak performance, in our Performance Coach University program on coaching, we want to teach our coaches, how do you help them identify the patterns to get themselves to be the best version of who they are, and how do we make those patterns literally become part of their daily and nightly ritual so that it naturally takes them there again and again and again and again and again without them having to have to think about it or push themselves through the process at all. In the beginning, it's practice, practice, practice. Over time, you commit it to habit, it becomes a routine, and now it naturally becomes part of who you are. Whoa, the Disney Magical Express. That looks cool. Hope that helped.
Okay. Let's see. Jean, you rock. Malcolm, I'm becoming really aware of how important your daily people are in keeping a standard high. The standards of your peer group is huge.
Yes. The standard of your peer group will make or break who you are. If you have a peer group, people you hang out with, that they demand the best of who they are every day, you won't be able to keep hanging out with the group if you don't have that kind of standard in who you are and how you show up. On the reverse side, if you hang out with a peer group that they rarely, if ever, demand the best of who they are, if they'll slowly kind of drag you out of it, because you'll kind of stand out like a sore thumb if you're always trying to push yourself and, demand the best of yourself and show up and be the best and hold the highest standard. You'll kind of feel weird after a while with all these people like, why you do that for? Don't you just want to hang out and relax? That kind of thought process. I don't know where that accent randomly came from. We're driving through Florida here. Maybe it's a Florida accent. I don't know. But that thought of people will start talking you down because they're not stepping up, so they're going to bring you down. So the thought is, who can you spend time with consistently, visually, virtually or physically, ideally, that they hold themselves to such a ridiculously high standard in a healthy way that it causes you to have to participate at that standard. Otherwise, you won't fit in.
All right. Scott, true that, Malcolm? Ken. He says, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Sunglass emoticon. Hi, Ken. Scott says, wonderfully stated. Gigi, I love you. Thank you both. I didn't really do much, but good job.
Thank you.
All right, Maria. Yeah, Jairek Robbins. When are you coming to Canada?
Which part of Canada, Maria?
Yes. Cameron Michaels. When are you coming back to NYC?
New York City. We might be up sometime soon. We have a fun shuttle that we use, so
to be determined. We'll surprise you. Tiffany, come to Houston. 70 degrees down here.
Houston, heyo.
Timothy, Tampa area 2.5 week? Question mark. I don't know what that means. Is that code?
I think he's asking if we'll be in Tampa. We travel a lot, so I'm guessing we'll probably be home at some point during that time, Tim. We just randomly saw something pop up for a jet down to Miami tomorrow, so we pop in and out a lot. We'll probably be home at some point, though, so we'll make sure we cross paths.
Roderick, hi, Jairek, great words. Jean, yes, Ontario has mountains, that's true. I've been snowboarding there, I think. Crystal Mountain, I've been snowboarding. Cameron Michaels, ha ha ha. I love that you might be getting lost. Variety. Roderick, hi bro. Love what you are sharing. Scott, second video in 2 days. Now I'm getting hooked. Jean, how do I become a coach?
Jean, that is a great question, my friend.
Great question.
Now, this message has been approved by Performance Coach University. if you are not familiar, we currently have a performance coach training program that is starting. It's legit. That's starting March 7th. Whoa, deer. Anyways, back to Performance Coach University. It's starting March 17th.
14th.
March 14th. It's a Monday.
Enrollment closes March 7th.
Enrollment closes March 7th. We're looking for a max size of 100 people. We have a handful of people who signed up from Italy, the U.S., Canada. We've had Tokyo, Thailand.
Amazing.
And if you go to the website, www.performancecoachuniversity.com, I'll give you a special code.
If you attend the webinar on Thursday.
So if you go to performancecoachuniversity.com
/5pillars, PILLARS.
That's complicated.
Webinar 2.
Go to performancecoachuniversity.com.
Oh, yeah,
There's a bar at the top of the screen that says webinar. Just click it. And if you join the webinar, check it out. We'll explain the whole course, how it works, everything that's involved with it.
And teach some super cool tools.
We're teaching some super cool tools on Thursday evening. And then we'll have a bonus package. And the bonus package, just so you know, it's our Mastering Influence bonus package that we're going to be giving away. I can't give you all the details, but it includes a copy of a program called Mastering Influence, which is legit and definitely needed for coaching. Also, a few books on influence. We're going to give away a signed copy of my book to people who enroll. There's a slight financial discount that's going to be involved, as well as a 2-day Performance Coach University. I don't know if y'all see the sunset. It's beautiful back there. A 2-day Performance Coach University Mastermind special event we're doing only for Performance Coach University members. That's going to be after everyone finishes the course. And it's a business launching program. So we're going to do it on how to build your business, how to put your website up, how to gather leads, how to do all the business end of the business. And then it also includes $100 donated to our next Pencils of Promise school that we're building, and a few other bonuses as well. But you'll hear about them on the webinar we're doing this Thursday. And if you enroll for it, if you're able to attend, you're going to learn lots of great stuff. And then anyone who's registered will also receive an email that has the bonus package in it, so you can check that out. But it's performancecoachuniversity.com. Thank you for asking.
Yes, it's a really phenomenal program. Okay. Gigi says, Jairek, are you currently offering one-on-one coaching, for example, to me?
Gigi,
do you have any spots left?
I'm glad you asked. Dear. No, I'm just kidding. We just had a client today wrap up his, I think he was on 18 months of coaching with us. So I do have a spot open, just opened this afternoon. If you are interested in working one-on-one with me, you can send how to do it. Go to JarekRobbins.com, and on the little bar, there's a bar that says Performance Coaching. There's a drop down, it says Intro Discovery Coaching Session or something like that. If you click it, fill out the form there, it'll send us the information, and it'll let us know you're interested, and either one of us or our team member will reach out to you, walk you through all the packages, what's available, and see if it's the right fit. If you already know you want to get started and jump in, send me a direct message on Facebook and just say, hey, would love to get enrolled in coaching. Just so you know, we offer packages of one-on-one with me, 6, 12, 18 months. I only take 15 clients at a time. Currently, one person just opened up today, so we have 14 filled and 1 open spot.
We have to check your wait list.
Oh yeah. We might have people on a wait list, so sorry about that.
Check out the form.
I forgot. But fill out that form or direct message me, and we'll let you know what's still open. I forgot we had people waiting.
Yeah. We also have new graduates too. So anyways, okay, Scott says, bringing it. Roz says, good morning, Jairek and Amanda. Love and blessings from Australia.
Aussie. Hope you're doing something crazy.
Brandon. I'm Australian. I wake up and get crazy.
It's true. They do.
Brandon says, how do you know you are the best version of yourself? That's a really great question.
Great question. So with that thought, the way to know this is think back through your life and if you created a scale 0 to 10, or watch this, create a scale -10, Meaning, if you could think back, and this isn't the best fun part of this conversation, but think back to a time when you were the worst of the worst version of yourself. Tired, exhausted, beat up, frustrated, meaning you just snapped at people, you were angry, you were tense, you were depressed, or any of that real deep, ugly, emotional stuff. Think of a moment in your life when you were really low, and would describe that moment. Write down all the things going on in your life, how you felt, what you focused on, what was going on, the thoughts you had, the emotions you had, how you treated people, everything you can think of, and rate that -10. 0, think of a time in your life when life really wasn't good or bad. Think of a moment of your life where life just kind of was. It wasn't good, it wasn't bad, it just was. And rate that kind of a 0, and write down all the same things. What was going on? How did you feel? Who was around? What were you doing? What kind of job did you have at that time? Just write down everything that was going on in your life at that point in history that was just average. Not good, not bad, it just was. Then, how you know who the best version of yourself is, go all the way to the other side, where you literally felt euphoric, meaning that moment of your life where you had to pinch yourself because you didn't even realize, you didn't think it was even real. You felt so alive, so fulfilled, so abundant, so rich, so grateful, whatever the word is for you that describes the best experience you've ever had in life. And write down, where were you? Who was with you? What were you doing? How did you feel? What was possible? What job did you have? What were you thinking about every day? What kind of projects were you working on? Write down every single little detail you can see, and now you'll have a chart and a comparison that shows you -10, neutral, +10, the best version of who you are and how you're living life and what you're doing and what's going on in your world. An average, it's middle of the road, just neutral, and then the worst version of who you are, and start to look for what are the little differences for you personally in your life that cause you to be at the best or worst version of your are. Some of those examples could be how much sleep you were having. These are things we track with our personal one-on-one clients. How much sleep they're having, what kind of stuff you're eating or not eating. We stay on 417?
Yes.
So what kind of things you're consuming physically, like eating, what kind of things you're mentally and emotionally allowing yourself to consume will determine how what kind of a version of yourself you are. Who you're surrounding yourself with, what things you're working on, what your mind's consumed with all day, what you're focusing on and thinking about constantly. Physically, if you're ill or sore or tired or burnt out, or the best of the best version of yourself, you're training, you're strong, you're vibrant, you're vigilant. Those are different ways that you can determine and better understand who you are and where you're at. Hope that helps.
All right. Roz says, closest 5 people. Maria, loving it. That's right. Working towards becoming the best version of yourself requires habit and rituals. Thanks, Jairek. And that's right. You become who I hang around with. That's why I watch you.
Aw, thanks for hanging out. We appreciate it.
Reading your book. Thanks for your message.
Aw, thank you for reading it. P.S. If you think this is valuable and you're picking up something useful from this conversation right now, click that share button and let other people know about it. Write a little message with it and tell them what's going on and why you think they might want to check this out and join in on the conversation.
Malcolm says, good night from Stockholm. Drive safe.
Good night, sir.
Maria says, Toronto.
Oh, Toronto. Big fans. We like it.
Sue, you're both awesome. Thanks so much. Jamie, hey, I'm going to subscribe. You guys.
Welcome to the team.
Roz, Amanda, is the training online? It is online.
Yes, all the training is online from Performance Coach University.
Yes. Mrs. Robbins asked the handsome guy driving to send me the link if he'd still like my help, as we talked about a few months ago, from Scott.
Which Scott?
Engler.
Oh, Scott. We'll get you the link. We'd love to help spread the word. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right. So, to circle all the way back to the beginning of this conversation, for those of you who weren't here, the topic is letting go of the good to get to the great. So my challenge for you is the very first start with yourself and say, where in your life are you settling for just good? And wherever in your life you're settling for just being good, average, ordinary, to give up that standard, to set a new a new limit at which you'll tolerate and say, listen, I'm no longer willing to tolerate just a good version of myself. I only will allow the best of the best version of who I am to show up every single day. And if you're willing to do that, you'll be surprised, because if you're willing to push yourself and raise that bar and raise that standard, you will start to now see a much, much, much stronger version of yourself show up. And if you demand it of yourself, and you will not settle for allowing yourself to be a less and dimmed down version of yourself, you'll start to see yourself perform better, feel better, be more fulfilled, and the people around you will be pleasantly surprised at the standard at which you're choosing to show up in life. And you'll be surprised how many opportunities show up in your life at that moment that were never really present before, because people didn't know if you had that kind of standard that they could trust you with those kind of opportunities. So the very first area to raise your standard and set the new threshold is in your own personal life. Now, once you've done that, once you've done it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a couple months, 6 months, a year, and that standard is really, truly set, you only allow the best of who you are as a person, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, to show up every day, then at that point, cut off anything you're doing in your life that's just ordinary or okay, and only allow the threshold to be set at absolutely outstanding. And when you do that, start with yourself first, though. You can't demand something from the world around you if you're not willing to demand it from yourself first. That's the first rule of leadership. Like, you have to demand it from yourself first. So, oops, I think that was our exit.
No, we're good.
We're good?
Oh, you have a different, yeah, okay.
Where's your going?
Just Melbourne.
Oh. It says we can take the next one, right?
Yeah.
Cool. We might need to wrap this up in a second and message Brian to see where our hotel is tonight.
Okay.
Anyways, so first, start by demanding it from yourself, period. Get a consistent record and pace of demanding it from yourself again and again and again. Once you feel confident that you know you only deliver the best of who you are every day, then at that point, now start raising the bar and resetting the standard in every other category of your life. And do not allow yourself to have okay and good things. Like it was said earlier in one of the messages, I was trying to figure out why some days I feel like a zombie and other days I feel like euphoric and totally lit up. I'm guessing on the days you felt like a zombie were the days you were working on projects or working on things that were just good and kind of dulled you and kind of drained the energy out of who you are as a person. And the days you were euphoric were the days you were working on projects that literally brought the best version of you to life, which things were that are outstanding. At that point, you got the best of the best version of who you are to come to life at that moment. And if you can continue that, it's amazing how much more you're capable of because you're in the right place. So that's my challenge to you. I hope you have fun. I think there's a couple more comments and then we got to wrap up because we are pulling somewhere close to our...
That's all.
That's it?
Yeah.
I think there was a couple more.
They just said they're talking to each other.
Oh, cool. Anyways, hope you all have an amazing day. We have to get going.
Great job.
And we will see y'all later. If you found value in this, please click the share button. If you are interested in Performance Coach University, please go to performancecoachuniversity.com and check that out. If you're interested in coaching with me, send me a direct message or fill out the forms on our website, and we will see if we have any spots open. But we will see y'all later.
Bye. How do I turn it off?